And sticking with the media and why trust in the mainstream media has plummeted to record lows, the executive producer of 60 Minutes, Bill Owens, has resigned. He blames the supposed loss of independence. Now, this comes after President Trump's $10 billion lawsuit, after claims that 60 Minutes grossly misedited an interview with Kamala Harris during the election campaign at the direction of the Harris campaign. Now, we were among the first to report on that deliberate misleading edit. Let's just have a quick look. This is how Kamala answered a question.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
Typical incoherent, meandering word salad with no substance there from Kamala. But look at what 60 Minutes actually put to air.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
Sharp, succinct, strong, and really, Adam, incredible antics there from 60 Minutes. And for the executive producer to blame loss of independence for his resignation is almost comical. They have acted as the Democrats' propaganda arm for years.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's obviously with long pieces that 60 Minutes does, they have to do some editing, but that's a massive edit. That is trying to do the best that they can, which she's not even really answering the question. They just had it in a very coherent, short statement. And it just covers up how grossly unprepared she was to run for president. And to be sort of fair to her, she only had a few months to run. She was pushed into the spotlight to run after Joe Biden was too senile to actually move forward. But if they listen to the American public and stop trying to say, well, if we are fair about the cognitive decline of Joe Biden, it helps Trump. But that's not what the media is there for. They're not there to pick winners and losers. They're there to tell us who's winning and who's losing.
Absolutely. Now let's check in with MSNBC, where host Simone Sanders Townsend claims that Black Americans will be the next to be deported. She seems to think that Black citizens are somehow going to be part of the deportation program.
To me, that is why Kilmar Abrego Garcia's specific case, the case of the gentleman who's a makeup artist out of California who was also sent to that prison. That is why the 75% of the folks who have been sent, the men who have been sent there that don't have criminal records, that is why this is so important. Because if they could do it to them, if they could snatch students off the street without any pushback or recourse, they will do it to any of us. And to be very clear, it's going to be the people of color and vulnerable communities that are next in line.
I think that's right. And that's certainly part of why the African-American community is so strongly behind the supporting Kilmar.
Yeah, we're like, we are not for this.
Yeah, because as you just said, if they're going to whisk them away, what are they going to do with us?
There you go, Coleman. Are you living in fear of ICE knocking on your door and deporting you despite the fact that you are a citizen?
No, I'm not. And what he just said, that the Black community is behind, no. Black leftists are behind this, which is a very small percentage of Black Americans that live in this country, especially the upper class types who appear on MSNBC. So this fear-mongering about Black Americans being scared, guess what? When you show Black Americans the facts about this guy being associated with gangs, this guy, which everyone acknowledges he was here illegally, Black Americans know what illegal immigration has done to their jobs. Black Americans have seen their neighborhoods being torn apart, being split up, being segregated because of illegal immigration. So this idea that Black Americans are behind Kilmar is foolishness. It's ridiculous. So no, Black Americans aren't as stupid as they're projecting us to be, that we're hanging in fear that ICE is going to knock on our door when the vast majority of Black Americans have been here longer than any other demographic. So no, we're not going anywhere and we're not scared. This is all just nonsense.